Today, I'm going to teach you 13 professional nature building tips in Minecraft. I mean, it's easy to make a nice house, but if you can incorporate nature in your builds, it makes it look so much better. Number one, we're talking about farms. If you're like most players, you're going to have a farm that looks kind of like this, which could be practical, but it doesn't look very good. You want your farms to look natural and look like it fits in with the environment. Now, here are some examples that I did in my world. First off, a wheat field. As opposed to just making some simple wheat farm, I have an entire field with scarecrows, bundles of hay, and it even goes up and down a little hillside to make it seem ultra realistic. Over here is my bamboo farm, which they're in these rows. It looks kind of like how real bamboo is farmed. And for my berries, I have a berry orchard where I walk through this little pathway. I can go into the bushes and pick berries naturally. So to make a long story short, natural farms look so much better. At number two, we're talking about leaf gardens. If you're a semi-good builder, you might think it's cool to put leaves on the sides of your houses because it kind of looks like these bushes. What if I told you combining tall flowers with leaves makes an amazing new build idea? I want you to go around your house and make these little unorganized circles of leaves. And inside these circles, fill it up with tall flowers. Now do this a few more times with other kinds of flowers, and boom, you got more color and more nature around your house in a nice clean way. And if you're really ambitious, you can make a giant flower field like this. But I will note, if you make this bigger like I did, use stone blocks. It just looks better when it's in this massive scale. For number three, you're gonna want to incorporate trees, but not normal Minecraft trees like that. You're gonna want custom trees, like this giant custom birch tree I made. Or if you're feeling really ambitious, a giant tree house. That's a joke, don't do that. Or do, it might be fun. Now to make a custom tree, simply get some wood and some leaves. Now as opposed to the basic Minecraft tree, which is just 1 by 1, you're gonna make a little bit of an awkward circle here. I literally just made a square. All right, that's better. Now in this messy circle, start on the outside and place some extra blocks around. Then as you go more into the middle, start raising these all up a little bit. And do this over and over until your middle is the tallest point. Now we have this giant pile of logs. Now from here, go up a little bit more right in the middle, then just make a gigantic circle of leaves. And by the way, not just a 2D circle, do a 3D circle. So go out, go up a little bit, go up straight, then kind of come back into the top. And finally, just add some random puffiness to the outside, the top, and some hanging leaves on the bottom like this. And boom, a nice little custom tree. It's not perfect, but if you take time with this, it'll look a lot better. Number four is really simple, and that is put hanging nature outside of your houses. I don't care if your house looks like this or if it's just a square box of wood. But if you have trapdoors, grass, and flowers, you can make an amazing hanging garden. So go to any flat surface on your house. In my case, I'll do it right here. Place down some grass blocks, surround those bad boys in trapdoors besides the top, and stick some flowers up here. And boom, easy hanging garden for more color in your house. Now additionally, you could do this on the sides of your house on the ground. So you could put down like some grass blocks here, flowers on top, then a few trapdoors right here, and boom, that also looks pretty good. Number five, turn any natural ponds in Minecraft into a nice custom pond. Right now, this thing is an eyesore. It looks ugly, it looks annoying, but if we customize it, it looks amazing. And that's the exact thing I did over here in my Minecraft world. This was a natural pond and I made it look amazing. I'm saying amazing a lot. But all you gotta do is replace the inside of the pond with different kinds of stones and dirt blocks, bone meal it for the seagrass, then put all different kinds of nature blocks around the side, like sugarcane, wheat, bamboo, mushrooms. You get the gist. And in just 1 minute, I already made a much better looking pond. For number six, I love placing down melons and pumpkins all around the area because it looks like it's growing here naturally. But my good tip for you is enclose these in custom pumpkin patches or melon patches. Like if you look here in my survival world, here's a pumpkin patch. I have this giant enclosure of cobble and mossy cobble mixed together, and it all has pretty cool texture. So there's some stairs, there's some slabs, some normal blocks. And inside here, I put pumpkins with sea pickles as a stem on top, and then the ground around it is just like a mixture of dirt and coarse dirt and all these different kinds of dirt blocks. And I can promise you this looks a lot better than having just a couple of pumpkins sitting on the corner of a build. For number seven, we're actually gonna make custom boulders and rocks. I think this looks especially good if you live in a nice green area like this to kind of break up all the greenery. So first off, for the boulder, all you're gonna do is take out stone slabs, and stone stairs. And very simply, just make a little odd pile in the middle. That looks good to me. So take out your slabs and your stairs and just texture the sides of this. Do different variations, different shapes, just make it look unique and crazy, and at the end of the day, you're gonna have a nice little boulder here. By the way, big emphasis on the stairs. Without the stairs being attached like this in certain weird directions, it just looks a little bit too basic, so use stairs, trust me on that. Little boulder, check. Now for small rocks, I actually enjoy using polished blackstone buttons, and they kind of look like, you know, stray rocks. So especially around like my custom roads, I'll put these like this and it looks like there's rocks all over the place. I'd say the rocks don't look perfect, but again, it's Minecraft, use your imagination, but for me, they work out well. For number 8, if you have a nice little mountainside near your base, put a fossil inside of it. This just adds some mystery and some lore to your world, and it's super easy to do. I'll make mine over here. So all you're gonna need are bone blocks and stone stairs. And very simply, just make a little fossil shape inside of the mountain. I like doing like a rib cage shape, to make a little line, go one out, then go out again, and do that like 3 more times. When you got something like this, now it's time to texture it and make it look a little more, you know, less obvious. So usually I'd take out my stone stairs and kind of make these weird shapes again along the side, but since this is dirt, it might not look as good. But the idea is something kind of like this, where it looks natural, but cool. Oh, and if you can't tell, I love this idea. I love it so much, I do it all the time. Number 9 is a little more simplistic. It simply involves flower pots and trapdoors. And the tip is, if you go inside of your house, you can actually hang flowers off of shelves. Most Minecrafters just put their flower pots on like a block like this and call it a day. What if I told you, you could actually do something like this and put the flower pots up here? So I could do 2 plants here. I could then stagger it and do like 2 plants here. And it actually looks like a real piece of furniture you'd see in real life. And back in my own world, I actually made a flower shop using this method. Like, how sick does this look? So yeah, a simple nature tip for you. Now for number 10, we're talking about lighting. Because obviously during the day, this place looks great. But at night, it looks a little bit worse. So here are some natural light sources you can use to fit the theme. The easy and obvious one is use jack-o'-lanterns. These can look good, but they also can look a little bit Halloween-y. So unless you're making this on Halloween, it might not fit. But even better, you can use moss. So if I place down some moss and I bone meal it, right? You get these moss carpets. Underneath these, we can actually put down a torch, put the carpet back, and the light passes right through it. Now this looks a lot more natural because it fits in with the whole grassy theme. And if you can farm this stuff, you also can just take the carpets themselves, pop them in one place like that, and you know, put the lighting underneath. Personally, I'd bone meal the moss. It just looks a little more natural, but again, it's up to you. Number 11 is a tip that I've covered a lot in the past, but in case you didn't hear about it, you can actually make foggy caves. So let's say I find a cave like this near my house. If you layer colored glass, you can make it look foggy and spooky. So what you're gonna do is go down 1 block and place a layer of stained glass. Underneath that, you're gonna skip 1 layer, then put another layer. And if you do this over and over and over, you get like a cool foggy effect with the glass. Like, look at that. How sick does that look? Oh, and by the way, it looks a lot better in a big area like this big purple cave I made. Like, come on, that's so sick. Now for number 12, we're talking about another kind of custom tree, that being apple trees. These are a lot more simple to make. All you gotta do is take out a sapling and grow a normal sized tree. Now take out some dirt and some berries, and you can actually go inside the leaves and put down a piece of dirt, put a sweet berry on top of it. Just gonna bone meal it really quickly so it gets the red little apples on there. Then put all the leaves back. You can kind of see the red apples inside of the tree. Now 1 apple in the tree might not really be noticeable, but if you do a lot of these trees with a lot of apples inside of them, you really notice it, and it adds that extra bit of color to your greenery. Like over here back in my berry orchard, I actually have all these trees as apple trees, and if you walk by, it's hard to tell, but if you do look at them, there's red in there, in all the trees, and it just is that little detail that makes a big difference. And finally, for tip number 13, you can greenify your roof. Is that a word? Well, it is now. Greenify. If your house has a normal roof like mine does, it looks cool, looks clean, but if you want to make it look more natural and more worn down by the nature, put some grass inside of here. So just break some random blocks, put grass down. Then bone meal the grass to get some actual grass on here. And even take some leaves to put up here as well. And at the end of all of this, you have a more nature looking house. Well guys, those are 13 nature building tips that I personally use in my world. I hope you enjoyed them. If you want to see more content like this, make sure to like, subscribe, do all the good stuff, and I'll talk to you guys next time. So until then, goodbye.